I'd like to start this commentary by saying that the student mindset is a very powerful mindset. In this project, there was a lot of learning for me. Lots of delving into new territory for me. And I've had to think a little differently as to how I do vehicle modeling. Over the past few years, I've had many conversations, a lot of conversations with modelers and designers in this field. And I see the kind of quality that they have. More specifically, they have this kind of eye for detail. When talking with these experienced modelers, I've found it very, very humbling. I've come to realize that there are modelers that have this attention to detail, and there are modelers that model with a behavior that respects the surfaces of a vehicle. They model with this behavior where, for some reason, they have the foresight and in my quest to mastery of vehicle modeling in general, it inspires me because it's realistic as to what I could potentially achieve and what I hope to achieve. When I first touched Alias, I immediately noticed the limits of the sub-D tool, sub-D modeling. Ever since I did the extend function in Alias, it really convinced me about the limits of sub-D modeling. And I've been sub-D modeling in both Blender and Maya for 10 plus years now. And I gotta say, seeing how Alias, the modeling in Alias seems to respect the curvature a lot more than Blender does. It really opened my mind, and it got me very, very curious. As you can imagine, I would have been bored for sub-D modeling for so long, but ever since I ran that extend tool in Alias, it really got me curious as to seeing what I could achieve when it comes to modeling in Alias. And yes, in Blender, to retain the curvature, you can use the sub-D and the data transfer modifiers. But it still has sub-D deformation even with the shrink rep and the data transfer modifier. At this current stage, I would consider Blender or sub-D modeling for sketch modeling purposes, and Alias for a more refined visualization. Don't get me wrong, you can render some very visually clean results with sub-D modeling in Blender. However, I'm a modeler, and for a long time I've been on a quest for precision. And I can't help but confess that Alias may take me closer than what Blender's sub-D modeling with the data transfer and shrink wrap modifier can provide. And just to be clear, I am not interested in engineering modeling. Yeah, that shit terrifies me. For now, my goal is to provide a model with clean highlights and somewhat satisfactory highlights according to the zebra shader. If I can get a strong theoretical before I do those fillets and shut lines and panel gaps and whatnot, then I'll be good. And unfortunately, in this model, as you may see later on, when I activate the zebra shader, you'll notice that the curvature is not the best, which is a failure on my part. And that may be due to my novice skills, maybe due to my lack of foresight. But at this time it came to a stage where when I generate a surface, sometimes it'll go beyond the point of repair, and then I just kind of leave it unfixed for the sake of moving forward in the project and trying to really learn what other tools there are available in Alias. During this training, trying to learn Alias, there was definitely a lot of pain. Pain in terms of crashes in Alias. Pain in terms of not being able to hit the undo button. That was very painful. Instead of hitting the undo, I would simply just delete a lot of the patches and curves and just rework that area. And there was also pain in simply trying to model with a new UI, using different hotkeys to Blender, using different strokes of the keys, and I mean, to fill out a surface, you simply press F in Blender as one click of a button. But to fill out a surface, it requires several functions just to fill out a single face or a single patch. So yes, there definitely was pain just acknowledging the fact that it required a lot more hotkeys and a lot more button clicking than Blender. However, this is kind of what I expected, knowing that I was once again the student moving into completely different territory. And as a student, I didn't expect myself to understand it first try. I expected a lot of pain, and the only thing that really got me through it was just being stubborn and moving vertices, unrelentingly moving vertices. And knowing that there may be failure, or it may come out as a complete failure, that it might completely fail near the end, I was unafraid. The only thing I cared about was moving one CV at a time, the necessary CVs at a time, filling out surfaces, and just keep moving forward. I didn't know if I was going to model with the same precision as the modelers that I look up to, and I just know that the hard work pays off. While I was following this training series, I noticed myself getting more comfortable with a lot of the tools that the tutor was using, such as the freeform blend, the extend, the drafting, sometimes the fillet tool. And sometimes throughout the training, the tutor would use a specific tool, but because I was a lot more comfortable with a different tool, I would use the tools that I was more comfortable with compared to the tools that the tutor was comfortable, that the tutor was showing. It then later got to a stage where I would simply, instead of following the tutorial, I would see the topology of his curve network. I would see his curve network and imitate his curve network as well, instead of using the tools that he was using to generate that curve network, with the faces filled out, with the surfaces filled out with the square or freeform blend. Yes, I would use different tools to what he was doing, and sometimes I would even do it in a different order as to what he would do. And it came to a stage where I was just simply focusing on the topology of the curve network. I believe that not every modeler thinks the same, which is why I was unafraid of applying the shapes my own way compared to the way that he was teaching. A simple analogy I use to describe this mindset is the idea that 5 plus 1 equals 6. And you also have 4 plus 2, which also equals 6. Two different methodologies with the same result. Ultimately, it really depends on the skill of the modeler. You may have noticed during this video a bit of sin in my curvature when I turn on the zebra shader. There's a bit of wobbliness in the zebra shader, and those areas were very difficult for me to tackle, and I believe that was due to my inexperience. I hope to next time generate stronger theoreticals and have a cleaner zebra shader before I add in those fillets and shut lines. Regardless of a few strange areas, I still believed what the end project would look like. I knew that with my rendering skills I could still have a very beautiful result by the end of the project. When I transferred the vehicle to Blender, it was rather straightforward. I generated a few images on Midjourney as to what kind of environment I would like, and then I referenced those and translated that to 3D. Yeah, from the 2D AI images I translated that to 3D. The thing is, like, I don't really see myself as a designer. I see myself more as a 3D translator. I translate anything I see in 2D into 3D. And adding in color into this scene is like icing on the cake. All the different colors, all the different reflections, and all the different lighting tricks I applied in here. Yeah, this rendering stage, it really felt like the rendering stage really felt like icing on the cake.